All right, today we're going to look at how to create the Lego arm using Inventor. All right, let's get right to it. We're going to start out with a new part, so go File, New, Standard IPT, and hit Create. Now before we really get into it, make sure you change your units, Tools, Document Settings. We're going to change our units to millimeters. Okay, hit apply and close. Now we're all ready to go. Click on the sketch tab and let's start a new 2D sketch. We're going to draw on the XY plane. And what we're going to do first of all is we're going to get a 2-point center rectangle. Okay, 2-point center rectangle. We'll start it right here at the origin. And what we want is we want a length of 5.5 and a height of 4.5. Okay, hit enter. So it should look like that so far. Okay, we'll grab the arc tool. We are going to start at one upper corner of that rectangle, go to the other upper corner, and now move this mouse out to create an arc, and you'll see these tangent symbols appear. There's one on the right and one on the left. When you see them, that's where you want to be, right there. Click it. Okay, there's two tangent symbols right there and right there. Finish that sketch, and we're going to extrude that. Please extrude those out to 4 millimeters. Okay, and hit OK. That's all we have so far. All right, next step. We're going to work with a plane. Okay, so we want to go ahead and we're going to use this command right here, angle to plane around edge. Angle to plane around edge. Click on that, and we're going to select this surface right here, and then the edge. Okay, I'll zoom in this edge right here. Okay, click on it. And what we're looking for is a 45-degree angle, okay, in terms of how it relates to this surface, okay? So what that means is, since it's measuring technically from the bottom, you just have to do 180 minus 45, which equals 135, okay? And I'll hit the check mark there. So I've got my first plane. Then what you're going to do is you're going to offset a second plane. So go to plane, offset from plane, click on this plane again. And now we're going to offset it 4 millimeters away. And make sure we're going in the opposite direction, away from us, not that way. So if you're oriented this direction, make it a negative. Okay, so it should be back here. All right, 2 planes, looking good so far. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start a 2D sketch. Okay, select the bottom of this object right here, and then go to Project Geometry right here, and click on that square one more time, and it should have turned yellow. And if it did, you can go ahead and hit Finish Sketch. All right, we're going to repeat this process 2 more times. Hit Start 2D Sketch. This time we're going to select this first plane, click on it, okay, and then hit Project Geometry and select that square again. Okay, and if we move the angle, we can see that that projected to the next plane. Good. Finish that sketch. All right, we'll do it one more time. Start a 2D sketch. Make sure you select the second work plane this time. Okay, and project geometry again, selecting that square, and we can turn the angle to verify, and sure enough, it transferred to projected all that geometry. Great. Hit Finish Sketch. And now we're going to use the Loft tool. Okay, so grab the Loft tool. We'll start by selecting this square. I'm going to do this in 2 steps because it seems to work much better. So I'm going to click this square and then this square, and I'm just going to say OK. Rather than trying to do all 3 at once, I'm just going to separate them out. Then I'm going to loft again. I'm going to select this square and this square and hit OK. All right, not too shabby so far. Looks good. All right, what I'm going to do first before I move to the next step, I'm going to just erase these planes or make them invisible. You can go into the model menu, right click on the planes, and you'll see something called visibility. Just uncheck that box. Okay, now what I need you to do, go ahead and apply a fillet to every edge. It should be 2 millimeters. Okay, make sure it's 2. So 1, 2, 3 on that. Let's see, we've got some over here too. Go 1, 2, 3 on that side. So 6 altogether, 3 and 3. It should look like that. And you're going to hit OK. And we're going to apply another fillet to the inside elbow at 2 millimeters also, and the outside elbow right there. Okay, both 2 millimeters. Hit OK. All right. All right. Next step, we are going to draw on this surface right here. So start a new 2D sketch on this surface. All right. We're going to project geometry. Okay, go ahead and select this circle. Great. And now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. If you'll notice, by projecting that geometry, we ended up with 2 points, okay, which is fine. That's what you want. But what I want to make sure that we do is we offset that. And the midpoint that we're looking for is halfway between each one of these. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're basically just going to select the midpoint between the two of those. If it doesn't automatically find it, you can of course specify, but let's see if we can zoom in and get that. So if I zoom way in, you'll notice there's a space there. So I'm going to go halfway between each of those. Okay, it should be 0.55. Yeah, sorry, 0.055. Click there. I'm going to drag out a circle. It'll be a 2.8 circle. Okay. I'm going to extrude cut, or I'm going to finish that sketch. So you notice how it's in between both those points. And extrude cut that at 6 millimeters. Okay, extrude cut that at 6. All right, good so far. Now, zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to zoom out. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new offset from our plane. So if you open up the origin folder over here, okay, we're looking for the YZ plane. There it is. And come up here to, oh, I screwed the order of that up. Go to the top of your screen, 3D model, hit plane, hit offset from plane, and then select your YZ. How far are we going to offset it? Okay, we want this offset by 3 millimeters. And hit enter. All right, so at this point, what I would recommend doing is saving. Okay, good point to save at. Okay, file save as. I would save it as universal arm, because at this point you could take this template and you can make the right arm and you can make the left arm. And so save this copy and it'll save you some work trying to make both arms. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to start a new sketch. We're going to start it right on this new plane. Okay, we're going to draw a triangle. Grab your line command. We want to go right to the very top of this arc, okay, right at the top. You'll see a dotted line coming up here from the center. Make sure it snaps. Click on it. And we're going to go 2 millimeters to the right. From there, we're going to go down 6.5 millimeters. And then just connect those endpoints together. Okay? So obviously we're doing the right arm right now, so you would just reverse this process for the left arm. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to finish that sketch, and we're going to extrude cut through all. Okay, extrude cut through all, say OK, and there you have it. Okay, and now we're getting close to being done, but we do have to add the feature that allows it to connect to the torso. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start a new sketch on the YZ plane. Okay, so YZ plane, right, you start a new sketch there. And what we're going to do is we're going to project geometry first. What are we going to project? Just this incline line, 1 and 2. Okay, so 2 lines right there. And now grab your line command. And this part is very detailed, so please pay attention. You start right here at this top point, okay, and you're going to go down following this contour, following this angle, okay, which if you take note of it, it's 162.9 degrees. That's 162.9 degrees. That's just a good reference for later on if you need it. Okay, we're going to do a line that's 0.5 millimeters, okay, and then come right out from there. Make sure it's coming out at a 90-degree angle and do 1.15 millimeters, okay, and then we're going to go up at a perpendicular 90-degree angle at 0.115, so that's 0.115. All right, and now this one's a little tricky. I'm going to zoom in for this. So for this part, go back to the end of the line. Okay, you see it turns gray right there. I'm at the end of, right there, that line that I just made. You're going to click and hold as you drag it out, and what it does is it creates a arc. And when you come past the y-axis, just a slight amount, about there, and let it go. Okay, we're going to fix up the dimensions later on. All right, and now let's finish up the rest of this. So now we're going to go down, and it's going to be 1.6. And now we got to make sure we're at the same angle we were before. So in other words, it should be parallel to this original line right here. And it is. You see the parallel symbols here. Okay, so we're in good shape. All right, so that's 1.6, and it's parallel. Now we're going to take this end of this line and bring it right back. Make sure you see the perpendicular symbol, okay, because it's actually measuring from a different angle. So there we go, that's perpendicular. I click right there, and now we're going to close off that shape from there to right there. Okay, so because you have to have a closed shape if you want to use the 3D features. Now, one thing we need to specify is this dimension right here. So go ahead and select your dimension tool, and I'm going to select this arc. Okay, that should be 3. So change that to 3, and everything else looks correct. Let's check this dimension. Check that. That looks good. Okay. So we're in good shape. We're going to finish that sketch, and now we're going to revolve it. Okay, so you select that object, and our axis is going to be right here. Okay, hit OK, and there we go. We're looking good. All right, so let's go to the last step here. We're going to draw right on this circular surface, so start a new sketch on this surface. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to project geometry. Okay, so we're going to project geometry on this outermost circle and on this inner circle. Okay, so 2 yellows. And then we're going to draw a circle from this center point. That's 2 millimeters. Okay, and now we're going to get the line command. Sometimes this is a little tricky because it tries to snap to different points, but we're going to actually enter manually the points we want. So for the x coordinate we want negative 0.36, and for the y we want negative 0.913. Okay, so that looks good. Have it come straight down at a 90-degree angle right to the outermost circle. Okay, and then from there, we're going to complete that on the other side. Okay, so there we go. We're at 90 degrees. It's lined up. Click it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a line. Yeah, see, I can get that dotted line right there. I'll zoom in so you can see it better. Purple dotted line that shows that you're at the same level. Okay, right there. Once you have that lined up, go ahead and click, and we'll bring that down. And again, make sure it's at a 90-degree angle. Click it. Okay, and now get your arc tool and go from this point right here to this point, and we will match that curve and click it. All right, we got to trim off this line right here. There we go. Got this kind of keyhole shape. We're going to finish our sketch, and then we're going to extrude cut that. Okay, so we'll extrude. We'll select the keyhole shape. Make sure we get the whole thing. Don't forget about that bottom part. That often gets missed. We're going to cut it, and how far are we going to cut it? 2.8. 2.8. And there you go. That is our Lego arm. Of course, you want to take off the work planes. That's up to you. Clean it up. That's what we'll do here at the end. And yeah, I'm going to add a color to it and we'll call it a day. Hey, thanks for watching.